and welcome back to Building Solid Foundations Radio. This is Steve Matley. Today, my guest is Momo Savovic, and we're talking about the Inland Empire Water Association, a new initiative designed for the Temecula Valley area of Riverside County and beyond that into upper areas of Riverside County and even into San Bernardino County. Momo, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned several times about creating self-reliance on water for the area. Where does the water come from for that area? Where are we getting it?
Well, thanks, Steve. Yeah, it's a great question. So naturally, water is either coming from Colorado River, from up north, Bay Area. Those are two sources, and we have groundwater source. So those are three sources that we are tapping into. Recently, in this region, we started looking into ocean. Just think about the ocean and resource that's stuck in there. So there is technology that could help us defry and use that huge reservoir of water. And I would say like about 5 years ago, San Diego County and City of San Diego constructed a large desal in Carlsbad, and that is a marquee project that may probably lead into new generation or new way of thinking about resolving this issue around here.
Okay. And how much water can that plant produce?
It is designed and constructed to produce 50 million gallons per day, and I believe it is very close to design point the way it's operated right now.
Okay, and then how many households is that going to serve?
Well, I may miss the mark here, but it is going to serve a big part of North County in San Diego. That includes where we are at in the city of Vista, San Marcos, Carlsbad, and surrounding cities up to Escondido.
Okay, so now for the area you're in, Temecula Valley, is a desalination plant viable considering they're inland? They're separated from the ocean by a mountain range. So would they be pulling water from a coastal desalination plant in Orange County or San Diego County, or would they have to try to get land and build one and pipe the water out there? How could they take advantage?
Yeah, well, nowadays what they have is what's called pure water program. Okay. And people inland are looking into ways to recycle water, like when they send people
out.
So
similar to the Miramar plant?
Similar to Miramar plant, yes.
Okay. So people don't know that aren't familiar. Miramar, there's a large water recycling plant close to where the Marine base is out there, and they pull water in. Now, the water coming out is generally not drinking water. It's used for irrigation, but a lot of water is needed for irrigation. If you can use that water, then the fresh water can be used for tap water. So you're talking something similar to that.
Something very similar to that. And there are different processes that could kind of address issue and tailor it to needs. So there is similar program going on right now with Eastern Municipal Water District. And there are some other districts like Padre Dam and Oceanside. And they have similar program that is looking into slight modification, what is just pulling water from the ocean. There was a program, Tap to Poop, which was not popular at the time.
Yeah, the toilet to tap is what they called it, yes. And the irony there is every drop of water that's coming out of your tap that you drink probably went through a toilet or a river that animals were in at some point in time, because water just keeps being recycled around the planet, right? It's like the same amount of water's been here, but it evaporates, condensates, it rains, it runs down a river, it goes into a ground well, whatever. And so nature has been filtering that out for millennia. And if humans can filter that out, it sounds disgusting when you think about it, but the truth is it's no different than what nature's been doing forever.
And I mean, technology is headed that direction. As I mentioned, people flying out to space are using that technology.
Yes, and exactly. They're living just fine.
Yeah, and they're coming back. But I mean, it is important to reach out and talk to public, just like we do. And I drank that water. I was at the plant when it was commissioned, and okay, I lost some hair, I guess, but that's not why. So I mean, people do drink it. There is no evidence that there is anything wrong with it, and it is treated to molecular levels. So that technology is really taking any impurity out of it. And then again, if it is used for potable water, there is a different layer of protection. So it's usually discharged to large reservoir, like natural reservoir that is source for water supply of region like Miramar Lake, you
Right.
discharge it there, and then you put water treatment plant, so you treat it again.
Right.
And then it's like fail-safe, and there is so many built-in suspenders in.
Yeah, and most people, not everyone, but most people these days tend to drink filtered water anyways. We don't just drink out of the tap usually. Some do. When I was growing up, we never thought anything of it. You put water under the tap, you drink out of the hose. We didn't seem to bother us. Now we want it bottled. We run it through the Brita. We have a 3-part filtration system under the sink. We have a whole house system. Nobody really wants to drink the tap water anyways, which means the water coming through is probably going to get filtered, even additionally right there at the tap.
And I am testament to what you just said. I'm drinking water that is RO treated, and the trick is that water is RO treated equally like ocean water or this water from wastewater treatment plant effluent. It's the same technology applied to different sources coming with the same outcomes. So that is few things that are on the table. I believe that San Diego and this region is good example of how to tackle and resolve the issue. We are not the only ones. There is Orange County also, right. Yeah. And there are other people that are doing the same, but I believe we fully realize here in San Diego how important it is. We are planning to have associations like this, talking to people and spreading the word, and getting events that will popularize and allow people to ask and get a reasonable explanation. And I think this will help, everybody accept that this is the way to go. We have to worry about natural resources. We have to, be proactive and try to preserve them as much as we could.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned education going into the schools, and I see that as a vital part of what the Inland Empire Water Association would do, is help to educate the general public to change some of the prejudices and myths about water, and the idea that when your neighbor flushes the toilet, it doesn't come straight up into your tap. There's a whole process that's going to, and that honestly, that water probably isn't any worse than what's coming out of the ocean anyways. If we're desalinating, the ocean water is not very clean. And I don't know what people think the fish are doing out there, but same thing we're doing, right? So it's in there. It's already there. And it's a matter of just changing the mindset, I think.
Yeah, just keeping people informed, I believe, is the key. Not forcing the issue, but letting people making their own educated decision at that time, because we would explain and provide any explanation that could help them come closer to believing it, or enabling them to dig deeper and get any information that they may need to come to support the good cause.
So how do people get involved with this? If someone wants to get involved with the Inland Empire Water Association?
By contacting me to start with.
And how do they do that?
There is an email address. It's my first name and last name at att.net. So
it's
MOMCILO.
Oh, the full name.
Full name.
MOMCILO.
SAVOVIC.
Okay.
So it's one word.
Momcilio
Savovic at att.net.
Okay, and I'm sure that once you get the association up and running, there'll probably be a website that they can contact. And so if you're looking for this, it's going to be the Inland Empire Water Association, based out of Temecula Valley, but serving a lot of Riverside, San Bernardino County, and the inland area. So if you want to get involved, maybe to help the Inland Empire Water Association get to schools and do education, or maybe you want to help refer people in that can be participants in this. Perhaps you're somebody that sits on a board or knows somebody that sits on a board of a water district, and you can contact them and get involved in this. Or maybe you're a developer, a builder.
Or municipal district that wants to get some sort of connection and reach out to community, because we will facilitate that. And I think it is win-win. Right. They will get something, and they will get word out, and they will have a vehicle that will allow them to talk to community and spread the word and explain what is going on.
Okay, and obviously, if they're in agriculture, that's probably a very good stakeholder to have involved in this as well. Now, are you looking at using the association for like public advocacy, lobbying, those type of elements?
Well, At this point, we have several ways to try to promote. One would be we want to set annual golf event and raise some funds and then support local schools with proceedings. We also plan to have at least quarterly meeting and invite owners, agencies, cities into a place that is dedicated. Right now we are thinking about Karl Strauss just because it's across the street from my office there. Mm-hmm. But we'll see where, and we will advertise that on our webpage. And also we are trying to circulate invite to local owners and businesses and ask them to join. And it really depends on how aggressive our promotion is, and depends on how successful we are in drawing people in. So we just don't know how is that going to work at this point because it is so young. And but we have hopes that it will take some traction and will become visible on the map, and sky is the limit. We are in America, you know.
That's right. Fantastic. So it's Inland Empire Water Association, Momo Savovic. If you want to get hold of him, Momocilio Savovic at att.net, MOMOCILO SAVOVIC at att.net if you want to connect with him if you're interested and learn about it. And pretty soon there'll be some information available up on our website. Momo, I want to thank you for being on Building Solid Foundations with me today. We're going to go to a break and we will be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. I'm Steve Matley on Building Solid Foundations.